Hey guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. So of course, if you clicked on this video, you probably already know what it's about. And it is about the brand new Maybelline foundation. So this is the Maybelline Dream Velvet Foundation right here. And this has been out for about maybe 2 weeks. And I really wanted to pick it up because I like some of Maybelline's other foundations. I do have their Maybelline Fit Me, and I think it's the matte and poreless one, and I wear that in the shade 330 Toffee Caramel. So I decided to pick this one up in the shade 92 Caramel as well because I thought that would be the closest thing. The packaging is super sleek and it's just a tube style, as you can see. So you just dispense the product out, whether you want to dispense it on the back of your hand or if you want to put it onto your brush, that is cool as well. But I really do like the packaging because I hate having to pour things on the back of my hand and mix from that. The most ideal thing is usually to have a pump, but if it doesn't, the tube works just fine for me. So for this foundation, you get a standard 30 millimeters, which is also 1 fluid ounce of product, which is pretty standard all across the board. As far as claims for this foundation, they don't really make too many claims, but I'm gonna read to you guys exactly what the description says on Maybelline's website. They say it's their first hydrating matte foundation and that it's 100% velvet smooth perfection. It's supposed to be a unique gel whipped formula, and it's ideal for normal to combination skin and medium coverage. So we're gonna see if that's true in the demo. I do have some comments, but you will see that in the demo. I did find it at Shoppers Drug Mart for $19.99, and it actually was on sale for $14.99, which I was pleasantly surprised to see because we all know Shoppers Drug Mart is so freaking expensive and overpriced. So I would definitely try to pick it up at Walmart if you can find it in Walmart. And Shoppers Drug Mart, if you are a little bit confused, is basically your equivalent of CVS or Rite Aid. If you are from the US, I would definitely go ahead and check like CVS, Rite Aid, or Bed Bath & Beyond because I have watched some reviews and I heard some people saying that they were able to find it in those locations. They have 12 colors in this particular range, and this is the second last shade in the line. So this is number 92 Caramel, and then they also have 95 Coconut. This shade I think is ideal if you're like a medium dark skin tone, and then I would say if you're more on the deeper side with red undertones, I would go for the 95 Coconut. As far as the coloring goes, I really wanted to share with you guys the difference because when I initially found or saw this foundation online, I was a little concerned that this was going to run a little bit dark for me, and I wanted to show you guys exactly how it compares to the 330 Toffee Caramel from the Maybelline Fit Me line. Alright, so here is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless in Toffee Caramel, and right beside it here is the new Dream Velvet. They both pretty much match really well, but I have to say that the new Dream Velvet is a little bit darker than the Matte and Poreless. Now when I blend the foundation out on my hand, I will agree that the foundation does feel very velvety and kind of gel-like. I also have to mention that the foundation kind of dries down pretty quickly. You can see there's not really any shine on my hand at all. And so with that being said, if you like to mix your foundations a lot, or you just like to take your time blending out your foundations, you're going to have to move fairly quickly for this foundation because it does tend to dry down pretty quickly. I also wanted to let you guys know that I will be using my Morphe M439 brush. This is just their deluxe buffer brush. I know Maybelline did come out with like a sponge beauty blender type thing that you're supposed to use to apply this foundation, but let's be real. I honestly was not interested in it at all. We all know the beauty blender is just like in a lane of its own. So I did not pick up that sponge. I think it was around $9 to $10. So since this is a Maybelline foundation, I thought why not go ahead and use their primer. So I went ahead and put on some of the Maybelline Master Prime by Face Studio, and this is the Blur and Smooth version. I'm gonna go ahead and put the foundation on my face. I have it here on my brush. Oh wow, that's super cold coming out of the tube, but you can see that is the foundation before even blending it out. And it's funny because I tried a little bit of this foundation on my neck in the store because they actually had testers, and I found that it had a slight pink undertone, and actually my friend noticed it first. I couldn't see it at first, but now that I have it at home and I have it on my face, I can kind of see it. I don't know if the camera is gonna pick it up. Let me know if you guys see what I'm talking about. And I can say right away that I think I put too much, because it seems like a lot of this is really gonna go a long way, because I put like a little glob on my brush there, and you know, there's so much that I can literally like spread it all throughout my face. So the foundation does seem to be blending pretty well, and I think this is a good medium coverage foundation for sure. It's definitely not too light to the point where you're spreading it and you're seeing like every little imperfection. It is covering up a lot of my acne scars. Some of the darker ones that I have, like for example right here and like up on my forehead, those ones don't seem to be covering as well. So I think it's definitely a medium, and if you were going to wear this foundation and you want a more flawless look, you'd probably have to color correct or use some concealer first. Now this foundation seems to not at all show a lot of shininess. Like some foundations, when you put them on, you kind of have to wait for them to set down a little bit on their own and then put your powder over the top of it. Even still, when you put them on your face, they do look a little bit shiny. I can't say that about this one, even though I'm filming in front of some really bright lighting right now. But honestly, this foundation spreads really easily, and so far I really like the consistency and how it sets. So I'm gonna go ahead and just apply something to my lips and do something with my eyes, and I'll come back and show you guys how it looks. And then I will also, I think I'm going to do like 1 or 2 check-ins, maybe like 2 or 3 hours in between, just so you guys can see how the foundation stays on my face. Like if it's going to be a longer than 6-hour wear foundation or shorter type wear. And just so you guys know, I do have combination oily type skin, so oily in the T-zone and regular or normal like on the other parts of my face. Alright guys, so I'm back. I finished up my face. I did go ahead and set the foundation with my Ben Nye Topaz powder, because as I said, I felt that the foundation had a very slight pink tone to it, and so I used this because it's kind of like an orange, like more warm base powder, so I felt that it would probably cancel out any of that pinkness and bring it closer to my actual skin tone. And I just put on some gloss, did my brows, and put on some mascara. So I think I'm actually only going to do 1 check-in, and we'll see how it wears. Alright, so the time right now is currently 3:15. So we'll see what time we're going to come back, and hopefully you guys can see the time because it is in a white font on my phone. Alright guys, so I'm back after about 3 hours of wear. The time right now is currently 6:26. So I think the foundation still looks pretty damn good. I have started to get a little bit oily like in my T-zone area. I did share with you guys in the demo or earlier that I do have combination oily skin, so my skin tends to get oily in the T-zone area in the middle, and it pretty much stays regular and dry or normal on the other parts of my face, so that's nothing new. I do have some creasing going on in the smile line area, but that's also not new to me. I have been combating that recently, so I would suggest a good primer for this foundation, especially if you have problems with, you know, creasing in fine lines or anything like that. However, other places on my face it seems to be fine, and even still with the smile lines it does not look bad, and it just has a very slight oiliness. You guys can probably see it on camera because I feel like I can see it here on my my viewfinder here. I'm actually gonna zoom in so you guys can get a look at what I'm talking about. You can see just a little bit of creasing on the sides, on both sides, but they really aren't too bad. And yeah, I haven't touched up at all, so as I said, I think the foundation still looks pretty good and I don't look like a complete oil slick or anything like that. So my final thoughts on the foundation is I would definitely say go ahead and pick this up. Number one, it is readily available, it's inexpensive, and it does give a very nice coverage as well. I did have to build it up a little, mostly on my forehead and a little bit on my cheeks because I do have some darker marks from previous acne scars, but I didn't have a problem doing that. You can also color correct or use a concealer if you prefer that option. The one thing that I have to say that I don't like about this foundation is the shade range. The shade range really does kind of suck, for lack of a better term. As I said, I have the second last shade and there's only one shade darker than myself. That is a very red based shade, so if you're kind of, you know, medium dark, then you only really have one shade to choose from. And I did mention in my demo that this shade actually kind of leans a little bit pink, like in undertone, and I know that when I was looking for this foundation in the stores, I came across the shade number 90, which is one step down from this. And it's funny because when I tried that on my hand, I initially thought that that would be a decent match for me, but when I went to swatch it on my neck, it actually leaned pretty pink too, and I was like, oh no, that's not gonna work. And so it's not surprising to me that this number 92 kind of leans pink as well. I've seen a few other people review other shades and they also made the same mention. So I mean, if you can find something that works for you in this shade, or you can make work, or you don't mind mixing maybe the two last shades or two other shades together, then definitely check it out. It's a great buy. But otherwise, I would say Maybelline definitely needs to step up the shade range on this, because I honestly think this is going to be another hot ticket on the Maybelline line. If you enjoyed the video, definitely go ahead and thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye! Roll. I would say go ahead and try out Morphe brushes and try to sign up for the subscription box. I know it's sold out right now, but they were advertising on their social media that